uh, classification of divine and non-divine or demoniac qualities. We have discussed what he describes how people are. You all agree with me by now that Krishna is the best psychotherapist. By defining all these kind of, he has described throughout until now uh, the creation with its different manifestation. We tend to take everything for for granted. We are not pausing during our day-to-day activities. We don't look at the nature, we don't look at people, we are not living in present, rather we are thinking something, always in a hurry, always in a rush, actually not appreciating what is happening around us and what is around us. So when we run through the Gita, we can appreciate Gita and Bhagavad Puran also. We understand and we appreciate the purpose of creation, the way it has been created, so many varieties. There is so much of diversity in the entire creation. Uh, as you observe, first it will be first classification could be living and non-living things. Among the living things, you see the lowest creatures of the lowest, smallest, microscopic, microbes. If you start from the microbes, then you can see bigger bugs and other parasites and others, and then you can see the aquatic animals, and then you will see the terrestrial animals, and then you will see higher species, and then human beings, and the plants with all the different types, different species, different families of these plants. So if you observe, you will be wonderstruck at the way this creation has happened. There is a very beautiful description for all this creation in Bhagavad Gita also. So if we understand in the right perspective, then you will start, if you understand and not take the things for granted that are there around us, including the non-living things, and read Bhagavad Gita, then you can link and understand how marvelous is this creation and how beautiful is his manifestation. In the Gita, he says he has manifested in each and everything in this world is sustained by God, which we can call that God also as consciousness or as the energy. It is sustained by a particular, I mean, it not particular, it is the energy, that is the truth, and that is the supreme being. This faith we should have. If you have that faith, then you will start believing whatever he speaks, Krishna. That same energy consciousness has taken incarnation as Sri Krishna. Before that, also, he has taken incarnation as several forms like Rama, Parashurama, Matsyavatara, Kurmavatara, all those. At least we know about Rama Avatar, Rama and Krishna. We have heard, we have seen, we have evidence to show that they existed on this planet. So, if you believe him and his words, then you will understand that what he says is a truth. You will start experiencing, or you will start appreciating. May not be experiencing, you will start appreciating. True. So much of variety is there. It cannot be made possible by an ordinary human being like you and I. It must be some supra normal energy which has worked. Now, next he says that he's there in each and every particle which is seen, every particle. Much more higher manifestation. These are all his manifestation. And he says, I am maximally manifested in the human. There is one chapter called Vibhuti Yoga, that is power of manifestation, where he says that wherever there's higher merit, you take it for granted that it is me expressing more, expressing. Just like we see no genetic expression, they're expressed. Some are fair, some are dark, some are tall. So expression of those genes, right? Similar to that, wherever there is merit, like Surya, sun, and the big mountains, and anything which has higher merit, I am there, he says. And in human, in that Vibhuti Yoga, in the end, he says, I am there as a consciousness in every living being. Every living being, he manifests more, and still higher manifestation is observed in the human being. And there he categorizes that I am there, and then my modification, my modified form, I am the energy, then modified prakriti, nature it's called, is seen in the form of the mind, the intellect, the ego. All that is also my transformations. I am the pure. These are all the things. Now, in this chapter, he says, this is, so though we have a pure consciousness, though there is pure consciousness, which is very pure, untainted, it is like a clean screen, cinema screen. If you see, no, where the picture is projected, that screen is very pure white. That is a consciousness. On that, the nature, that means our mind, buddhi, and all, try to conceptualize that. Our thoughts and everything is playing on that screen. This we have to first imagine. But this is where we are supposed to reach. Padmini just now mentioned Bhagavad Gita is a moksha shastra. Moksha is what? Understanding that I am the pure consciousness like a white screen and nothing will disturb me. That pure screen is always happy, blissful. That is a state we are supposed to reach through Bhagavad Gita. So now, for us to go there, he's training us step by step in at various levels. In this is written by Veda Vyasa, and in a different way, and there are repetitions because Vyasa knows the human mind. We tend to forget, we tend to lose our concentration. So he has reinforced some thoughts again and again, repeatedly in every chapter he brings. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, again it comes. We need not discard that, saying that we already know about it. We may be knowing, but how much we practice, that matters in Gita. And this practice, no, it has to be done repeatedly, reminders, everyday reminders, every minute reminders, because the creation is such a way that the mind is like a dog's tail. We understand, oh, I should stop desiring so much, I should stop being greedy, I should stop my anger. But again, by afternoon, we would have meditated, taken that resolution. By afternoon, we get carried away by our colleagues or our people around or our neighbors, and the same anger will continue. So we need to remind again and again. And therefore, they have repeated certain concepts. Almost all the concepts get repeated in one way or the other. That way, we are very lucky. We are very fortunate that Veda Vyasa has understood, particularly, he says, people of Kali Yuga. This has been written for people like you and I because they call, there are so many yugas that have happened. Dwapar Yuga, Krishna was there, and Treta Yuga, Rama was there. Before that, Satya Yuga was there. So they were all highly intelligent people. Kali Yuga, people are dumb-witted, less intelligent. So therefore, and they are not so hardworking as we are. So let's make it easy for them. And the Bhagavad Gita has come. Now in this chapter, Krishna knows that now he says there is this consciousness, there is a mind, there is buddhi, and every individual is different. So what is the difference? He categorizes them into three gunas: sattva, rajas, tamas. All the three are there in an individual. Sattva is predominantly goodness. Rajas is passionate, ambitious, greedy, stressed, hyperactive. Tamas is ignorant. Neither he is good nor passionate. He wants to relax and he may commit so many, basically inactivity, leading a life of an animal, and he doesn't even know, he or she doesn't even realize that there is something called sattva, rajas, and there is something called moksha. There is something. Adilla irudilla, tamas. This way he has categorized three gunas. Here in this chapter, he is categorizing them as divine and non-divine attributes. The manifestation, which is a combination of sattva, rajas, tamas only, can come broadly in another way of defining human beings. Another way of defining human beings. It is not hard and fast rule. Non-divine means, as I said, it is not absolute classification. We ourselves, sometimes we are divine, sometimes we are non-divine. It depends on the triggers and our past accumulated impressions in our subconscious mind. This subconscious mind is also called, you can use it in little bit, I would say interchangeably, not exactly, subconscious mind is not exactly as samskar, but we call them as samskar and vasana. So these are accumulated impressions, not from our childhood, also childhood as we grow with our influence, but more so, it is a journey of the soul with the mind-body complex. The soul with the mind, it's not body, mind and buddhi, subtle body it is called. That subtle body with the soul is traveling, from this birth to next birth, next birth, next birth. So it carries those impressions, and whatever reactions we are showing, our behavior is influenced by whatever we have carried all these years. based on our previous experiences, as well as this experience of this birth, right from our childhood, from our genes, from our surroundings, everything defines. So that whatever defines your behavior will either fit into divine or non-divine. And as I said, we must know about these, because not to judge people, but to observe ourselves. We have to, entire Bhagavad Gita, the minute we start seeing, we must look at others. We cannot stop, actually. We cannot stop. We can also judge, no problem, but that judgment should be for us to understand. If he's divine quality, then we must imbibe, we should behave like them. If he's non-divine, then we should not be like him or her. So from outside, this is the inference we should do, observation. Inside, we must start working on that. How do I develop these qualities? So we have discussed about 26 divine qualities. So this is exactly where how to be a good human being. My friend was asking how to be a good human being. Even in Bhagavad Purana, Narada says to be a human itself is, it requires so many characteristics. You have been given this body, this intelligence, which the animal does not have. So the purpose of giving this intelligence is not to, be greedy, possessive, wealthy, jealousy, competitive, and prove others wrong, and you are not. That is not the way our intelligence and intellect should be utilized. That's not the purpose. But it generally goes that way unless we are aware and we are grounded. So to be grounded, he says, you reflect on these qualities. Fearlessness, put your mind and buddhi in higher knowledge. Put it in yoga. Yoga means connection with the higher. Along with yogasana, yoga is to join, connect with the higher consciousness. Do charity, damascha, control of your distractions. Excessive indulgence in wealthy, in the in pleasures, and enjoy excessive. Reasonable you can, excessive that we should not have. That's called dhamma. Yajna, perform everything as a sacrifice and learn to sacrifice. Then do regular reading of scriptures like Bhagavad Gita. Then do austerity, tapas, resolution, and adhere to that. Whatever resolution you take, but adherence to that, come what may, rain or shine, that is tapas. Be upfront, arjavam. These are all divine qualities. I'm just revising once before we go to the last section of today's, 16th chapter. Then ahimsa, non-violence, not hurting yourself, not injuring others, physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. No ahimsa. Satyam, uh, truth. Always speak the truth. Be true to yourself. Uh, don't put up. Be honest. Show integrity. That is satyam. Akrodha. Control your anger. Anger must be there only when it is absolutely essential. We cannot live without anger. Today, Swami Ranganathanandaji has mentioned. Today we are going to come to that. And then tyaga. Tyaga is whenever needed, let go, give up. Try to be the first one to sacrifice your personal desires or something for the benefit of the system. For the benefit of the system, home or institution or the society or for the country. All of you watch this movie. I don't know, Tanvi the Great. Anybody has watched? Suachila has watched. I told her, please watch. It's about army and about an autistic child. The sacrifice. When I remember army people, defense people. How much of sacrifice they do, and we take them. We are not at all. We don't remember them so much as we should actually. How much of sacrifice they do. They are not sadhus, but they sacrifice their families, their parents, their children, their enjoyment, and go to the borders like Siachen and all that. So tyaga and shanti, peace, tranquility, and apaishunam, that is no backbiting or unnecessary criticism. Daya, show compassion and gentleness, modesty, absence of fickle-mindedness. These are all divine qualities. Compassion, no anger, gentleness. So many, 26 qualities he has given. Daivi Sampat. I have shared in the group. Once again, I will share because we again need to remind ourselves just in case we are going. That's what. If we are deviating from that, then we should become aware and correct it. Always there is scope for correction. what is the other extreme in this classification? That is non-divine or demoniac, or they're called vice, virtues and vice. Damba, ostentation, that is pretentiousness, hypocrisy, the arrogance, self-conceit, anger, harshness, ignorance, and then uh, not knowing what to do. I mean, they don't know how to behave, what they should not be doing, what they should be doing ideally, and no purity, no good conduct, and no truth. And they never believe in the existence of the supreme being. There is nothing. They believe that this is what it is. There is only one life. It is for enjoyment. Oh, what do you think these are meant for? It is for enjoyment. You are a fool if you feel when we have things to enjoy and we don't indulge in them, then you are fool. That is a thought they have. And they feel this entire world is a product of infatuation. This is the worst thinking. Asuri or non-divine thoughts. These are non-divine thoughts. People, there may be people who are predominantly this. They may be thinking like this only. That also is possible. Very minimal divine qualities. We cannot rule out, but majorly they are like that. They will believe that there's nothing, no creation, no Brahma, no Vishnu, no Maheshwara. There is only male and female communion, and then children are born. Then they get married, they mate the children. This is how it's going. They die, nothing after that. And when they think about all this, these ruined souls, they rise as enemies. They get into, because there is no belief in the supreme being, they get into criminal activities. And then he says that they get into insatiable desires, never satisfied, unending desires, full of hypocrisy. They hold evil ideas, and they are totally ignorant, bound by hundreds of desires. They keep, they start earning because they need money, because they have to enjoy. They have to enjoy worldly desires, and they have bodily desires also. That means lust. So to fulfill that, they can go to any extent to earn money in any way. Anyayena artha sanchaya. Anyaya. They may beg, not begging, stealing or cheating, anything. They don't consider stealing, cheating are as the wrong things. They say no, doesn't matter, it's okay. Taking somebody's property, trying to, so these are the things. Then so much of arrogance that even killing somebody for their selfish desires is not considered as abnormal, antisocial. No, they don't even think, because they are clouded, they are deluded by the thought that they have to enjoy. I am here, I have this property, I will get another property, I will own that. If I have to kill somebody on the way, it doesn't matter, because I have one life, I want to enjoy. So like that. And then Krishna says, so when they get uh, trapped in this web of desires, then what happens is their end will be they get into such, and they enter, they fall down into a foul hell. It says patanti narake ashucho. Ashucho means foul. Ashucho means dirty, foul hell. So hell means their life becomes miserable. Supposing they have lived such a life, and in the end, not all who have done good will have a good end. That's also there, because it depends on their karma. But generally, these people get into hell, means they get into a situation or a state where they suffer the pain of a hell. Hellish means what? There is severe, suffering. You will start feeling the pain everywhere. So this may be, which may be similar to being bedridden, not able to speak, not able to communicate. Nobody is listening to you. You become so helpless. So all these are hellish and atmosphere. Hellish state. Even when we are living in this body, in this birth only, maybe we will get into that state, we never know. So this is what Krishna says. And then now we will start with this is the fate of people with non-divine qualities or demoniac qualities. Predominantly, they get into hellish. Now we have to be observant whether I become angry, whether I'm showing arrogance, whether I'm speaking in a harsh tone. I may not be meaning it. Whether my thoughts, no, not only the words, whether my body language, is it soft or am I hurting somebody? So that much of awareness we should have. Otherwise, we'll have to face the consequences. But as I said in the beginning itself, Krishna has told, again I repeat, you have the Daivi Sampatti, Arjuna. So don't worry, he says, Ma Shucha, you are born with Daivi Sampatti. So that I take for us also, because here Krishna, through, what we are discussing is Krishna's words only. So I feel you and I are also born with Daivi Sampat. We are trying to be as much divine as possible, because the attraction to this Shastra, today we are talking about that, this Bhagavad Gita itself comes with Daivi Sampat. That attitude, the mental state, what is Daivi Sampat? When people are endowed with these qualities of thinking about others, thinking that there's a supreme being, Daya. We may not have 100% divinity, but we have taken a step towards that. So, but then now we should be watchful. We are not still 100%. We may be some 50%, 30%, 40%, 50%. What is that remaining 50% is the aim of our life. Aim of our life is to reach that 100%, this life or next life. And whatever we achieve in this birth, in every effort, it goes into that baggage, unlike wealth. And when we die, that baggage comes with us. Very beautiful arrangement by Krishna, isn't it? Very beautiful. See, whatever good things we do and bad things we do, we think also. Thoughts also are very powerful. All that goes as a baggage. But wealth does not go. Wealth, we are going to die when this body is burnt or buried. The wealth also is buried. Do we carry the wealth to the next birth? Impossible. Impossible. Which fool can agree? Where is my wealth in my previous birth? If somebody remembers the past birth, and then he says, I had invested in mutual funds, gold, Adela shares, so much I had kept. Who has taken the okay? Go to the same bank and say 50 years back I died and I have kept, and they will call you a fool and they will put you in the asylum. But if you have done lot of good divine qualities, we have worked towards that, it will start manifesting. And you will remember, if you remember past birth in this manner, then you will remember, oh, I had taken, I have visited this place, I visited this holy place, I interacted with these people, I had given some charity, and I must go now. Even if you don't remember the past, your behavior speaks. Because if you see in the same family, not all are same. Some people are spiritually inclined, some are not inclined. So, like that. So, therefore, we must work. Now we'll come to 17th shloka. आत्मसम्भाविताः स्तब्धा धनमानमदान्विताः यजन्ते नाम यज्ञैस्ते दम्भेनाविधिपूर्वकम् अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं च संश्रिताः माम् आत्मपरदेहेषु प्रद्विषन्त vyasuyakaha. So now continuing with non-divine qualities, he repeats, they are self-conceited, that means inflated sense of ownership. What he is and what he thinks actually, there is no, is disproportionately thinking great about oneself. That is Atma Sambhavitaha. And then proud, haughty, and intoxication. Dhana, mana, madanvitaha. Mada means extremes of intoxication, it is called actually. So they are filled with pride and intoxication of wealth. Dhana mattu mana, position, and this one, money, wealth. And the yajante nama yajnaiste, they perform sacrifices. Sacrifice means During that time, they used to perform yajna, homa, havana. And all. Now it is not a common thing. But they perform any rituals we can take, just namesake. Yajante nama yajna iste, naam ke vaste, just namesake. There is no truth or, they really don't feel, they don't involve. It is just for show. Naam ke, and avidhi purvakam. It is not done as per the way it should be done. There are defined procedures to perform these yajnas. They don't, or any rituals, they don't perform like that. So he has continued from the previous shlokas that these being self-conceited, haughty, filled with pride, intoxicated with wealth and their position, they perform sacrifices just for the namesake, and they disregard whatever scriptures tell how it should. They're least bothered, casual about it. They don't value it. They don't value. Then we should not do, no? If you don't value, we should not do. Should admit I am not having faith in this yajna, I will not do. Hangu illa. Rituals madode. But adana not as per the rules. Then possessed of egoism, ahankaram, balam, darpam. Again, as I said, repetition because he wants us to underline. Possessed of egoism, balam, power, unnecessary bala. I have muscle power, money power, position power. Utilize whatever they have, they will use it not for the benefit of the system, but for selfishness because they show it off, power and ahankaram, balam, darpam, that is arrogance, kamam, krodham cha samshrita. Kama, krodha means desires and anger, lust and wrath. Desire means lust, basically. These malignant people, he says, they hate me, that is self within, in their own bodies and in the body of others. Mam atma paradeheshu pradvishantaha. They are hating in their own bodies and others. That means they do not understand people of demoniac nature. They hate people, they rob people because they do not have the belief that there is supreme. They hate me andre when they hate themselves. They're casual about injuring themselves, injuring others also, because they don't realize that every human being is a unique manifestation of the divine. Idu higher thinking, divine thinking, Daivi Sampat. We all also understood after we went through all this that there is consciousness, we are manifestation. Ilde hodre ordinary people, if you tell them about this who are not inclined, they will not appreciate that. Irbod bidu. Ellarolgu devriddane. That's all. Ellar ಹೊಟ್ಟೆಗೆ ದೇವ್ರು ಚಿಕ್ಕವರಿದ್ದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆಲಿ ದೇವರಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ವಿನಃ it's not taken so seriously. Here there is absolutely, they are not closer to this also. They keep injuring others, they keep injuring themselves, and they hate also. They hate antandre they do not like any kind of discussions or thoughts about the divine. They are far, far miles away from the divine concepts of divine. So that is what is the meaning of this one. तानहं द्विषतः क्रूरान् संसारेषु नराधमान् क्षिपामि अजस्त्रम् अशुभान् आसुरीष्वेव योनिषु. So in the previous shloka also we have discussed these dvishatah kruran, hateful people, malicious people. Yavattu their mind is occupied with negative things about others and how to malign them. This need not be, you can think about two kinds of people here in this, under this category. One is the who are very explicitly they express, like these underground dons and their gangsters. They are malicious always out there. Day and night they are thinking, I will kill them, I will out muguspidana, because they have to occupy their area and all that. No, we have seen that, and they still exist in spite of police being there. Another another group in this is those who don't appear educated, qualified. Mentally, they are not. They are toxic people. We know that, no? Yesterday, somebody, it has been shared in LinkedIn also. Toxic people are around. They're malicious people. They're jealous people. They cannot stand the success. Even relatives, friends. The cruelty, kruran. Cruelty done by Chota Rajan ಅವನು ಅಂಡರ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಡಾನ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು ಕ್ರುಯಲ್ಟಿ. ಇವ್ರು ಮೆಂಟಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆ, ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡು ಬಂತು, ಹೌ ಕಮ್ ದೇರ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಕ್ಲೆವರ್, ಹೌ ಆರ್ ದೇ ಸೋ ಇಂಟು, ಯು ಮೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದಿಸ್, ಹೌ ಡಿಡ್ ಶಿ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ, ಹೌ ಡಿಡ್ ಶಿ ಗ್ರೋ ಇಂಟು ಸಚ್, ಹಿಂಗೆ jealousy, professional jealousy, and at home, neighbors. So now people may not be, but we have seen in the previous generation. So then that negative thoughts, no, that toxic people, it comes out in either thoughts or even words, their expressions. They are not what I should say, soft spoken or generous in their approach. They malign people, they get a chance, they speak sarcastic words, they want to put down people. So ee tara agate. So these malicious vishatah kruran samsareshu naradhaman, these toxic people, no, they are never, you I missed that shloka, I'm revising it today. They suffer from anxiety and worries throughout their life because their mind is totally chaotic. They are not happy with what they have. Their mind is only looking at others who seem to be happier than themselves, which is not a fact. They feel others are happy and they find that and they are thinking about that. They interfere, they talk. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಇದು ಒಂಥರ ಟಾಕ್ಸಿಕ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಇವರು ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡೆಡ್ ಅಮಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡೆಡ್. ಸಂಸಾರೇಶು ನರಾಧಮಾನ್, ಅಧಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್, ನರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಅಧಮ, ತಾನ್ aham kshipami. Tan aham is first word. What I do is I hurl them perpetually into wombs of demoniacs only. Andre, my law is such that if people are toxic and if they think without concentrating on their improvement, their growth, and be happy with others' growth, try to be friendly, try to be generous, etara, if they don't behave. And another extreme is, I said, gangsters. I will see that they are born in the family of demoniac people. They are born again. I will see that antandre my law is like that, law of karma. So I will see that they are born there. So krura, these people are cruelty andre, it is not even animal, worse than animal, because animals don't use that. But they are generally not, they say they are more compassionate animals. This is not even animal like, worse than animals, because it is they use their intelligence in a negative way. Animals are not so intelligent as us. So they go to some extent, and their cruelty, if supposing a lion attacks a human being, a tiger attacks, cheetah attacks, it is for their food. Once they are satisfied, they don't keep killing animals unnecessarily. Here, endless desires. Their desire is not there. Animal is very satisfied with his food. That's his basic desire. Ashtidru saku, tamasika, that is okay. Here, non-divine is, they are cruel, they hurt, they take their property, your property, wealth, kill, bare idrage irtare, mentally or physically, both. So they become worst human beings and they have forgotten their humanity and divinity. And ಎಷ್ಟು beautifully Swami Ranganathanandaji has written. So what they do, Asuri Shweva Yonishu, again and again they take birth. Now we are thinking of moksha. We don't want rebirth itself. And when we start reading, we should get rid. Why there is suffering, and why again I should take birth, again I should suffer. It must be a blissful state to become liberated. Let me enjoy that bliss. That is our ambition as we evolve in Daivi Sampat. These people are totally ignorant. Not only they take rebirth again and again, endlessly. The atmosphere, the environment in which they are born is also demoniac. And they keep on taking until they realize. Next ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ವಿದೌಟ್ ಎನಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್, ಅದು ಒಂಥರ ಪುತ್ತು ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುನರಪಿ ಜನನಂ ಪುನರಪಿ ಮರಣಂ. ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ any ordinary human being, this is the worst because of the cruelty they show. The cruelty is totally demoniac. Cruelty, in fact, it may be worse than some of the like Ravana, Kamsa. It may be worse than that, because those people were good to their subjects, but they had only anger against Krishna or Rama. Here hangala yaar kandru avrige, they disregard the presence of the supreme being. So this cruelty, I will see that they are born again and again in the demoniac wombs. Again, they antade family they take birth. आसुरीं योनिमापन्ना मूढा जन्मनि जन्मनि माम् अप्राप्यैव कौन्तेय ततो ततो यान्त्यधमां गतिम्. So he says, obtaining the demoniac wombs. What will be the fate of these devilish or demoniac ones? They obtain the demoniac wombs and deluded birth after birth, not attaining me. Yeah? Janmani, Janmani. They take birth after birth, not attaining me. They thus fall, O son of Kunti, into still lower condition. They still fall into a still lower condition under degradation. It's not like this also. ಈಗ ಈ demon issue, let's say it has got, we can say it's 0. Then next it goes to -1, -2, -3. Andre ashtu worst unimaginable condition. So lower and they still get into lower and lower. If we remember the previous shlokas, as we said, they may go into lower species also, not even human species, lower species, or maybe lower species are better, but here they may be born as humans but full of suffering, full of cruelty, full of ajnana. Then what happens is the baggage of bad karma will be so much that there is no hope for liberation, miles away, no hope for coming mam aprapyaiva, not attaining me. They are miles away from the thought of divinity itself, because from 0, if a Daivi Sampat is, let us say, 5 or 6, they are 0. You go to -1, -2, -10. So the distance to reach the divinity, it goes on becoming longer and longer. That's why he says, Mam aprapyaiva. They will not. That is a truth. We have to attain the divinity, but they are so much ignorant that they are suffering. Then now he comes to what is the reason for all this. He says, Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanamaatmanaha kama krodha tatha lobha tasmat etatrayam tyajet. Why people get into this? He says, Trividham narakasyedam dwaram. There are 3 gates to this hell. Now we will consider this as hell. As I told you, hell can be a physical hell where in Puranas and all they have described, which may or may not be, we don't know, that there are nether worlds lower where you will suffer and you will be put in hot oil and you will be burnt. All that is there. If that may be one situation, more appealing is even Swami Jagaddatmananji says the hell is here only. Heaven and hell are here only. If you are enjoying peaceful state, if all comforts are there, if you are living among cultured people, educated and cultured people who are not disturbing you, you are enjoying your solitude, you are enjoying that bliss, there are no toxic people around you, then that is Swarga. And you are reasonably comfortable, right, with all the comforts which apply to the present time. That is heaven. If you are suffering one way of continuous mental problems, physical problems, financial problems, you are not staying in a good house, you are very, very poor, very poor. That means do waqt ka khana, that is also not there. That is also hell. You have to really struggle even in your old age to lift. Kuli kelsa ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಪಾಪ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು old people, they still have to earn. The children are not taking care of them. They still have to physically exert, not educated. There is no money, or we are suffering. We have money but we are bedridden, everything there. So as I described, so that is also hell. So what is the reason for this hell? Lust. He says, Trividham dwaram. There are 3 gates to this hell, okay, which Nashanam Atmanaha, which kills them. What are these? Kama, Krodha, Lobha. Lust, anger, and greed. Lust, anger, greed. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. Others are not mentioned, which are those Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsa. Mada is intoxicated we mentioned that, intoxicated, high, unmatta. Nannantavar yarilla, Mada. Moha andre delusion, ignorance. And Matsara is jealousy. that those are not given because they arise from these parents: lust, anger, greed. Lust is bodily pleasures. That means as I said, it's king of all desires. Bodily desire is king of all desires. And anger, because anger can kill and people, and it can destroy you and others. And greed, never ending, never satisfying. So therefore, these are the sources for non-divine qualities. Why does a person stay in that non-divine? He is not ready to come out of lust. He is not ready to come out of anger. He is not ready to come out of greed. Those three are binding him like anything. From there, he is not able to release himself. So therefore, one should forsake. Tasmat etat trayam tyajet. So before we fall into that extreme of non-divine state of mind, we must be guarded with our own desire. We should see whether we are having these three disproportionately. Swamiji very nicely he says it's a mental condition, and he says all the three, the body desire, it will be there because you are a human being. It should be controlled. It within limits. It should be within limits, within the purview of dharma. And you should know excessive lust, excessive anger, excessive greed should not be there because they will bind you. And he says, uh, if you uh, if you remember these qualities, then you can control. But if it has become a habit due to our vasana and all that, then how to get over? Then we must get into connection with the divinity. We must think of God Himself, but that doesn't come naturally. But if we have, supposing we are in the borderline, oh, I'm also greedy. Sometimes I go beyond limits. That means we are aware. I'm unable to control anger. My thing is anger. Then now, with regular practice, with regular spiritual practice and awareness, that combination will help us to get over them and control them excessively. That is how it is. And that builds, and again, regularly we have to do, because we have discussed this. What is karma? What is desire? The uh, need to possess whatever is around. Once we get everything fulfilled and once we start earning money, that money builds up the bodily desire also. We want to enjoy. It may be lust also, or excessive comforts. Excessive comforts under 24 hours AC and that bathtub, you will have showers everywhere. You see those, no? Different kinds of distractions. Enjoying, like, how they describe Swargaloka. You want that only. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ then naturally the mind will start wavering here and there for physical pleasures other than physical, sexual pleasures. It will take you there. That's what they say. Shastra say it will take you there. So what is the source? From the beginning, contentment. Whatever I have, contentment. What is my goal? Not towards that wealth. The goal is within. I must have improve my qualities, divine qualities I should develop, not be carried away. If I go that way, then my divine qualities will not be developed. So therefore, that way we have to control anger also. If we are aware, the source of anger is desire. Again, we have discussed in the previous session also. So desire, excessive desire, if it is not fulfilled, it will lead to anger. It will take you to any extent. I want it, Chandra, I want it. At any cost, I want it. And whoever comes on the way, whatever situations, our male, I have to go. I have to get this. Beda, it's not good for you. Who are you to tell? In the East, it will start here. Then it can go to any extent, spoil the relationships irreversibly. Then when we want to come back to maintain those relationships, they're all gone. Because mind gets blown. It gets carried away by that anger. And lobha. If one fulfill, ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ anger ಬರ್ತದೆ. Fulfill ಆದ್ರೆ, I got this. Let me get more. If desires are fulfilled, it leads to greed. Unfulfilled, it leads to anger. And for these, what are the fuels? Fuels andre what nourishes these three emotions? Those are matsara first. Matsaradinda, jealousy. Desire will come when you compare and when you are jealous. Until I get a sari like her, jewelry like her, position like her, promotion like her, property like her, I will not be happy. ಅದು ಡಿಸೈರ್ ಅದಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ EMI ಸಿಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಿರ್ಚಾಡು. Where it started jealousy. So these are all complementing these emotions. Matsara and moha, it's not right ಅಂತಿದ್ರು, ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಅಬ್ಸೆಷನ್. ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಇಟ್, ಅದು ಬರೋವರೆಗೂ ಡೇ ಅಂಡ್ ನೈಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ struggle, but I want to get it. Moha. And moha andre, it is delusion, it's not taking you in the right direction. So that wheel is ignorance, is a moha and attachment, obsession. And mada is intoxicated. When you have too much of wealth, it becomes it will make you feel that there's nobody like you. Adu another extreme. So this way, we these are the three which makes you demoniac. All these 3 plus 3, they make you demoniac. So give up these anta Krishna ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. Now, so how to give up? It's not so easy to give up, no? Because mind needs something and it is seasoned, conditioned since several births. So the only way is to meditate, be aware. Be aware. That also is good. Control, if you have enough self-control and constant reminder, if you can do it on your own, well and good. Otherwise, surrender to divine. Surrender. I want to become like this. Because what happens is, even we, when we also have gone through this, all the three. So when what happens is, if we remember divine, meditate, or sit in front of God, or think of that consciousness, then we feel good. Mind becomes settled. Once you enjoy and taste that peace in your mind, then you want to do it again. Or you should tell your mind, see, this is how it happened every day, 10 minutes, early morning. Let us sit and meditate on the divine. It works magical. But that tapas will be there, austerity. Every day I will do it. It marta hodange. Our mind should be occupied with something else. So read good books, contact different people, think about those. So when we substitute our mind with something different, then only these three enemies will move away. Otherwise, they will come. Something mind has to be occupied. And Swami Sarvapriyananda is very, I think it's in Upanishads also. He says, how does there is a elephant and there is that mahut who will control that elephant, no? So that elephant, you ask him to do certain tasks, he will do, and he will not unnecessarily go here and there. He will bend down, ಕೂತ್ಕೋ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಕೂರ್ತಾನೆ, and he will allow the mahut to sit on his back. He will not hurt him. So somebody asks, how can the elephant listen to you? It will not listen to anybody else. Every day adana hoditane. He will train every day. He has to train the elephant. Hit and train, hit and train. So mind has to be trained every day. And how can you train every day? Through meditation. We have to sit in proper posture, do pranayam. When we do pranayam, the breathing itself will settle the mind. The breath is the food for mind, they say. Nutrition for mind. Nourish it. It's a very nutritious food. So when we take deep breath and calm down, the mind calms down. Just like the elephant is tamed, our mind will be tamed. Then by afternoon, evening, again it will start harping around the mind. Next day, again you remind, again you train. During the day also, little bit of awareness. So that way, if we train, then we will get rid of these enemies. एतैर्विमुक्तः कौन्तेय तमोद्वारैत्रिभिर्नरः आचरत्यात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति परां गतिम्. One who has got freed, etaihi vimuktah, one who is freed from all these gates. Tamoho dvaraihi. Tama is ignorance, darkness. These are all dark. Why they are dark? Because you don't evolve. There is no light there. It leads you to ignorance. Lust, greed, anger. Lust, kama, krodha, lobha. Kama, krodha, lobha. Lust, anger, greed. They lead to darkness, O son of Kunti. And one who has got freed from these three gates, O son of Kunti, that means he's addressing Arjuna, he practices what is good for himself and thus goes to the goal supreme. he will know this is andhakara. Going outside, enjoying in this worldly affairs is not going to do any good to me. He realizes that, and then he uh, he regresses backward. He pulls himself back and starts thinking where we were talking about reflection and observing our own thoughts, our actions, making a checklist. So that is what it means. Acharati atmanaha shreyaha. What is good for me? Let me do that. What is good for my growth? The knowledge birthday. When he gives up, and it is not easy to give up. It is easy to give up only when something good happens to uh, either he meets a good holy person, accidentally bumps into something. Okay, so here I will tell the story of so then he starts looking into his own self, then tato yati param gatim, then he goes to goal supreme, that is moksha. We were talking about that. So divine qualities lead to param gatim, he has described. Demoniac qualities, if they continue to lead to
Pratibha, you're muted. You're not seen also. Light weight ones.
am I audible?
Ah, now you are audible.
Yeah, no power. I'm
Ah,
logging
I
in
thought
from
as
the
much.
mobile. Yeah, no power. Suddenly, no power, no UPS also.
Oh,
So he says when he stops, am I visible and audible?
you're audible,
Yeah.
not visible.
Okay, I think the internet. No, I'm using the
Yeah,
mobile data. Okay, as
yeah,
long I think
you are
visible.
visible in the dark.
Yeah. ಕತ್ಲಿ ನೋ ಎ ಸಿ ನೋ ಪವರ್ ಸೊ ದೈವಿ ಸಂಪತ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಷ್ಟಾದ್ರೂ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಯುವರ್ ದೈವಿ ಸಂಪತ್ ಮೈ ದೈವಿ ಸಂಪತ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು connect. So Krishna says that those who concentrate on themselves and they start working, then they can go to supreme anta. But ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಅಸುರಿ ಭಾವ ಇದ್ದವರು, is it possible for anybody to go to that state of mind ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ವೆರಿ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲಿ ಅವರ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ our philosophy, this Sanatana Dharma or whatever human, this human religion. So it says that there is hope for everybody. There is a hope. We should not give up. The the person who was the most worst fellow also, he also has a hope. Anytime he can become uh, divine. So there is one story. I think with that we can wind up for to conclude for today. So what happens is this. There is one story some of you would have heard. Um, his name is Angulimal. His Angulimal in Gautam Buddha story it comes. Angulimal he is born to a nice family, good family, and he's called Ahimsak. It seems in the begin initially he doesn't hurt anybody, he doesn't trouble anybody, and he's learning from a guru. He is so extraordinary even in his knowledge and everything that his friends become very jealous of him, and then they manipulate the teacher also, and the teacher now becomes teacher also becomes a very he also goes into a negative mode. So teacher he also probably is jealous of his own student. he tells him as Guru Dakshina, I want 100 index fingers. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯವನಿರ್ತಾನಂತೆ, ಅವನ್ನ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ 100 ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂಗುಲಿ, 100 ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ ಫಿಂಗರ್ಸ್, human index fingers as Guru Dakshina. So this man becomes 1,000, not 100, 1,000 index fingers I want. This big person becomes as Guru. Otherwise, you will not be graduated, he says. That is the minimum Guru Dakshina I want. No, then this fellow, at any cost, I want to graduate, and my teacher is so good. I will go in search of human index fingers. Anta hogtane. Then initially he will ask people who go into that forest, no, will take a knife and he'll say, I want your index. Who will give? When they don't give, he will kill them. He will take the index finger. He will hang it on the tree. And then again he will kill another person. He has to collect 1,000 index fingers. Otherwise he will not get his degree. ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ 12 ವರ್ಷ ಗುರುಕುಲದಾಗಿದ್ದು. Then another he will keep collecting, but whatever he hangs on the tree, no, the birds will take it and it disappears. So now what he will do is he will put it, he will make a garland of those index fingers. Therefore he is called Angulimala. Whoever goes into that forest is killed. He becomes very ferocious, Rakshasa, demoniac qualities. At any cost, I want the degree. ಅವನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, this is not a right thing, wrong thing. I want degree. Not Gurudaksh. The story doesn't, it's not in Bhagavad Gita. I have read it in the literature. So it doesn't say that it's out of his Guru bhakti. No, he wants that degree. He wants to graduate. Therefore, or it starts as Guru Bhakti, but that killing habit, no, it becomes, it starts giving him a kind of ecstasy and kick. He keeps doing so many. I have to get 999 index fingers he would have collected in his mala. When he comes to the last one, no, he sees Gautam Buddha going there. Gautam Buddha, I think, or some other Buddha, one of those Buddhist monks. Then Gautam Buddha only. He wants to murder him and take his index finger. Avaga, he's walking normally, Buddha. But this fellow feels he's running. He gets a feel that Buddha is running. He screams at him, Buddha, don't run, don't run. Avaga Buddha tirigbitu, I am not running. You are running. I have stopped running long back. Running after these demoniac ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು. ಅಸುರಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯಿಂದ ಬೆನ್ನ ಹತ್ತಿ ತುಂಬಾ ದಿನ ಆಯ್ತು ನಾನು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Now I have become a Buddha. Now you stop. The minute he looks at him, he becomes so much, attracted to Buddha that immediately he will stop and he will follow him and he becomes a Bauddha Bhikshu. He becomes another Buddha only. So, ಇಷ್ಟು ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದವನು overnight he transforms. Overnight. Because of that one Buddha. Also they say these people, even first ahimsaka, munche he is very, very pious person. He is doing a lot of good things. So it was there within him. In between he got carried away by another influence. Ade prabhava, swabhava. So he gets carried away and then he yields to that. Somebody had to come to stop him. And then with that influence, he controls himself and he will become another Buddha. So Krishna also says, once a person, anytime he can change. If he gives up, now see, last anger, greed. Idರಲ್ಲಿ greed ಇತ್ತು ಅವನಿಗೆ. I want to kill, I want to kill, I want to kill, and I want to get the degree. ಇದೇ ಒಂದು ಅವನ. So ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬಿಟ್ನೋ and somebody influenced him. Then he started thinking about himself because Buddha will initiate him. He will have told him, this is not the way, this is not where you are supposed to go. He would have told him so many things which transforms him and then he becomes a Bauddha Bhikshu. So anytime anybody can change. This is one lesson. Another lesson is Acharati Atmanaha Shreyaha. What is good for me? That I have to see. Rather than spending time in correcting others around me, let me focus. This is a very, very truth, honest statement, which I always adore. The minute, how do we get peace of mind? Entha kashta bandru, any challenges which you have, you feel I just can't handle this. Andaga, look where you stand. Kannu muchkond meditate. Let me stop expecting any changes that would give me pleasure. Why are we facing problem? We want the things to happen the way so that I'm happy. So that they should have satisfy me. Expectation from others. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೋಡು ಅವಾಗ. ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ says turn inwards and see checklist ಅಲ್ಲಿ where are you going wrong. It may not be related to that person or that situation, but still you have so much to do within yourself. Why are you wasting your time expecting from others, correcting others? Look at yourself. Acharati atmanah shreya. What is good for me? How can I improve? Where am I? From there, how do I start? What works for others may not work for me, but what works for me, I should only find out. No. Uddharet atmanam atmanam avasadayat. ಆತ್ಮೈವ ಆತ್ಮನೋ ಬಂಧುವು ಆತ್ಮೈವ ರಿಪುಹು ಆತ್ಮನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಉದ್ಧರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಆತ್ಮವನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಫ್ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಎಲಿವೇಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ ರಿಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ವಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ವರ್ಕ್ nobody will help, not even parents, no friends, no children, nobody, because who knows us better than ourselves? We only know. So we have to work on uddharet atmana atmanam atman atmanam uddharet atman nannanna atmanam. I only have to improve atmanam avasada. We should not put down ourselves, we have to elevate. And atmaiva atmano bandhuhu, our atma only is our friend. Atmaiva ripuhu atmana, our mind and our atma is our own friend as well as enemy. If we start thinking ayyo nan hing ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ayyo nan hang ಮಾಡ, ayyo I did that, ayyo I did this, why did I do it, why am I like this, andre you are treating yourself as your enemy. Say I can do it, my atma is with me, there's consciousness, there's mind. Even if you think my mind is very strong, I can do it. Make it your friend. Listen, just like the Mahut beats the elephant, we can tell our mind, no, 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 no. I should ignore. I should detach myself. I should not bother so much. On ಬೇಗ ಬಂದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ನನ್ನ ಗಂಡ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಂಡತಿ, ಅವಳು ಅಡಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬಿಟ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬಿಟ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. I will earn for myself. I will take care. My friend did not share some slides or something. It's okay. I will do it by myself. Everything independent. Independent in every sense, because there is consciousness with us. What else you want? Atma, there is already an Atma. Even if you don't go till that Atma, you just tell I am able to handle anything in this world independently. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರ್ತದಂದ್ರೆ ಒನ್ ಬೈ ಒನ್ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆನ್ ದೀಸ್ ಡಿವೈನ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್, automatically the energy comes. Automatically, in any situation you are, that divine connect is required for this also. Divine connect, if we are able to do, then we are actually blessed. If we are able to connect and follow divine quality, then we will stick to that. Uddharet atman atmanam. I will elevate myself. I am not inferior. I have immense potential. I can handle this. I don't need anybody to satisfy, make me happy. Nobody can make me happy. Nobody can disturb me. I can make myself happy or inferior. I will keep myself happy. Idana ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆ, then but that happens when we give up our desire. Means what? If we translate that level, we spoke about lust, we spoke about excessive desire. Let us speak about expectations also. They are also a desire. Why do we want others to follow, to behave in the way we want? That also is desire, no? Acha, basic thing, responsibility. If somebody is not doing, there we have to. That is a that is a expectation we must have. We make them act on that. But excessive expectation, nanaga I like to do this, so he has to do that. I like this, so she has to do that. Either we should not do. That is not correct. That will yield to greed again. More and more will start expecting. So these are the things where we are likely to fall. We may not have excessive lust or excessive greed, but these expectations from people is something which each one of us have to fight. I hope all of you agree, because it's a challenge. Every day we must be aware. ಯಾಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡಿಸಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಆಯ್ತು ಸಂತೋಷ, ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸಂತೋಷ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವೇ ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಅವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್, then we will become more and more wealthy in terms of divine wealth. Daivi sampat is wealth. So our divinity will increase. So with that, I think we'll conclude for today. Without power, we were able to do, but this didn't go into the recording. That's fine. Anybody wants to add anything, you can add for another 2-3 minutes, and then we conclude. I we overshot the time.
Like Angulimala's example,
Hmm.
I think Valmiki himself is an
Yes.
example for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct. Correct, sir. You can narrate that if you can. Avanu, he was a robber, hunter, ಅಲ್ಲ ಅವನು.
Hunter. He used to kill anybody coming there,
Correct.
and that was a professional he was, and he was a cruel hunter actually.
Cruel hunter.
Cruelty
Yes.
was character.
Correct, sir. That is also
And
very
after
classic
that,
example.
I don't know how he converted. I don't know, but this is what.
ಹೌದು ಒಂದು ಋಷಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ I don't remember recollect the name of that saint who
ಋಷಿ ಬರ್ತಾರ ಅಥವಾ ನಾರದ ಬರ್ತಾರ ಅಂತ.
ನಾರದ್ರ ಬಂದು ಇದು ರಾಮ ಮಂತ್ರ ದೀಕ್ಷೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮರ 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 ಅಂತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅವನು ರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಬದಲು ಮರ 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 ಅಂತ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಆರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಬಟ್ ಮರ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ರಾಮ್ ಬಂದು ದೆನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಂಟ್ ಹಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಹಿಮ್ ವಲ್ಮೀಕ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಂಟ್ ಹಿಲ್ ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವನು ಇಷ್ಟು ನಾನ್ ಬರೋವರೆಗೂ ನೀನ್ ಜಪ ಮಾಡು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನಂತ ಅವನು ದೆನ್ ವೆನ್ ಹಿ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ he comes out of that ant hill, therefore he is called Valmiki, who has come from Valmika. Valmika is ant hill ante. Then he is blessed and he writes Rama and we got because of Valmiki. This is another very classic example of how anytime transformation can take place. That's right. That's right, sir. Thank you. Anybody else wants to add? Okay. So if nothing is there, can we conclude? Yeah. Anybody? So what should I push? Padmini? Dr. Pushpa, anything would you like to add or something?
No, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Mallikarjun? No. Kavita?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. We can conclude. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृतिस्वभावा करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि ॐ पापोऽहं पापकर्माहं पापात्मा पापसम्भवात् त्राहि मां कृपया देव शरणागतवत्सल अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रमापते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु Thank
Now
you
you-
everyone.
you
Power
have-
has come. Power has come. ಕೃಷ್ಣಾರ್ಪಣಮಸ್ತು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು ಪವರ್. Okay, have a nice week ahead. We'll
Yeah.
meet again on Friday
Yeah.
for Bhagavad. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank
Bye.
you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
God bless
Thank you.
you. Bye. Bye.